I'm listening to you.
Okay. Greetings. I am Ia Ifatukwe, or Yatobe, Oshuntola, Fasheke Faemi Akambi. And I'm with a wonderful Aluo with a world of knowledge, a world of information. Baba, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Ifayemi Oleyenifa. I am a Babalawo. I'm a Yoruba spiritualist.
Ashe.
I am Awoloje. That is Awegungun. I am Ifa Kabbalist. I am Ogboni. I am Ologun, Ogun devotee. By the virtue of all that, I am an Orisa.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily, I am Awoyami. I am Oluwo in Ogboni. I am Oluwo also in Ifa.
Mm-hmm.
I am the head priest, the leader of the priest of Iyami Aje International Temple. Because me calling myself a founder, Iyami says she's the founder of a temple.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been the founder if I'm actually the one that founded the temple. But Iyami founded a temple, so she's the founder. Then
Oh,
I'm the head.
Ashe.
Then I am the head priest of a temple
Okay.
and the leader of the priests thereof.
Mm-hmm.
When people hear Iyami Aje International Temple,
Mm-hmm.
they think, oh, that's the only thing they do there. Iyami is encompassing. She's the only tree that
Mm-hmm.
comprises of Ifa. She comprises of all Orisha. She
Mm-hmm.
comprises of everything you can think of in Isheshe spirituality. Even not in Isheshe spirituality, all around the world. Iyami is the epitome of spirituality. She has branches in every culture and every religion of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Ashe, Baba. Ashe. Um, Baba, did you tell us about your lineage?
Oh, my lineage is Asajemashe lineage is my lineage. Asajemashe, as I pronounce it,
Mm-hmm.
that's my lineage.
Uh,
The basic thing we do in our lineage, we are Ifa esoterists. Knowledge of Ifa and Nesheshi is a foundation.
mm-hmm.
And we only pay homage to those elders that has done powerfully well before us.
Mm-hmm.
My lineage, I am the 16th generation of priests in my lineage.
Oh, Ashe.
This is the 16th generation.
So your lineage goes far, far,
Far,
far
far,
back.
far, 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 far back.
Ashe.
And those before me, before
Mm-hmm.
now, they have always been Awoyami. That is why in our lineage we have this full compendium of knowledge about
Mm-hmm.
the cult of Iyami, about the research system. But that does not mean I, as a person, I never learned from others. Have learned a lot from others. I've been under so many Uluwus in
Mm-hmm.
the past whom I learned under them.
Ashe.
Yeah, thank you.
So Baba, will you open us up with a prayer?
Of course. And the prayer will go in form of Iba. Akọ́dá ayé ìbà o, aṣẹ̀dá ayé ìbà. Ìbà Olódùmarè ọba àjíkí. Dúdú lolúwa a lè sọ.
Ashe.
Pupa lolódùmarè a lè wí.
Ashe.
Ṣùgbọ́n ojú ọ̀run funfun nẹ́nẹ́. ìbà tí wáyé ọjọ́, ìbà tí wọ̀ oòrùn, ìbà mẹ̀gbọ́n awo rẹ́mọ, ìbà tẹ̀dímọ́lẹ̀ awo òde ìlàrẹ́, ìbà alukóso tí dojú kojú, ìbà alubẹ̀m̀bẹ́ abojú lókèlókè, ìbà kìrìndín awo òdíta, ìbà araba nífẹ̀ẹ́, ìbà ya mi aláṣọ aró, ìbà ya mi aláṣọ oṣù, ìbà ya mi ẹlẹ́wù ẹfun, ẹ̀yin gìrìgìrì dáwò, ẹ̀yin dáńdágìrì, ẹ̀yin ẹyẹ tí fò yíyì wọ̀lú, akọ ajá aborí gbóngbó, ológìnní abirú gìlọ̀gìlọ̀, ìbà fẹ́yìn ẹyẹ adú, ìbà fẹ́yìn ẹyẹ adú, ìbà fẹ́yìn ẹyẹ adú bàbà, ìbà lónìí ó ìbà, ìbà lónìí ó ìbà, ìbà lónìí ó ìbà. Bá a bá perí akọni, a sì máa fi dà lálẹ́ gàràgà. Ìbà lónìí ó, ẹ̀yin ẹyẹ ńlá abidẹ lẹ́nu gbákogbáko, ẹ̀yin ẹyẹ ńlá tí fojú ọ̀run ṣọ̀gán, ìbà lónìí ó ìbà. Kí bá wa máa ṣẹ o, ìbà lákọ́jú o, kí bá wa máa ṣẹ lónìí o. Ìyá ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ti ṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀, ìbà wa ti ṣẹ. Let's go to the next question.
Ashe, Baba. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit in English what that prayer was about?
The prayer was all about homage. In Ifa Orisa traditional system, the first thing we do in the course of prayer, in the course of any ritual, is Iba. We must pay homage to Olodumare. That is the supreme being we first revere. We must pay homage to the Okolirinwo Orunmole. We must pay homage to the spirit that controls the world. That is when we want whatever it is we want to do to be a success. That is why we must pay homage to those forces first before we continue. So that was what we just did.
Ashe, Baba. Now, for those who may not know, explain what is a Babalao, or who is a Babalao, and their function.
Babalao is a term, is a terminology that defines a kind of Yoruba spiritualist who are geographers, they are philosophers, they are scientists, they are alchemists. Mention it. And they are the people, they are the kind of being who has passed through lots of trainings, who has gone through lots of drilling about the process of Ifa divination, about the process of using Ifa to solve human problems. If we look at Odumemo Ejiogbe, Ifa Odu Ejiogbe, Ifa ne baro ti a le bogun, báàrúbì a lè bọ̀ ọ̀sà, bá orí wọlé wọ̀de ọba a ò lè rọ́bà, bóbìnrin ọ̀rọ̀kùnrin obìnrin ò lè bímọ, adáfọ̀ Ọ̀rúnmìlà erigi àlọ́, bàbá ń lọ́rẹ̀ gbèrè lọ́dọ̀ Olódùmarè, ẹbọ ni wọ́n pé ó ṣe, Ọ̀rúnmìlà gbẹ́bọ̀ ń bẹ ló túbọ̀ ní ṣe àti mèdè ọpẹ́ ló ṣòro, àti mèdè ọpẹ́ ló ṣòro. Ká tó mọ̀ dá o, ká tó mọ̀ kí o, àti mèdè ọpẹ́ ló ṣòro. Ká tó mọ̀ rú o, ká tó mọ̀ tú o, àti mèdè ọpẹ́ ló ṣòro. This Odu tell us about Orunmila, who is going to the home of Olodumare to receive the language of divination. Ifa says ká tó mọ̀ dá, ká tó mọ̀ kí. Orunmila observed the process of Ifa divinations, that the hardest part of Ifa divination is how to cast Ifa and how to chant it, how to provide solution, and how to do ebo, how to do accepted ebo. Those are the hardest parts of Ifa divination. So in that Odu, Orunmila observed 4 processes that defines who a Babalawo is. A Babalawo must be able to divine. A Babalawo must be able to chant the Odu that descended. A Babalawo must be able to offer ebo. A Babalawo must be able to provide solution, and the ebo which a babalawo or prescribe must be able to be accepted. That is what defines a babalawo. All of this virtue must be found in the person before we can say, oh, this is a babalawo. Thank you.
Ashe, Baba. So, what is Ifa?
You said, what is Ifa?
Yes, because there are plenty. I know what Ifa is, but there are people who think they may know, or people who don't know and want a better understanding. So, what
Okay.
is Ifa?
So, in some places, when you ask them what is Ifa, they will tell you Ifa is the word of Olodumare to mankind through Orunmila. Some will tell you Ifa is a divination instrument. Some will tell you Ifa is a 16 Odu signature of Ifa. Some will tell you Ifa is a spiritual work. You know what? All of them are right. Everybody will define Ifa as much as their consciousness could reach. Therefore, some even say Ifa is a religion. Some say Ifa is not a religion, Ifa is a spirituality. Ifa is not a religion, it has elements of religion. Ifa is not a spirituality, it has reflection of spirituality. Ifa is not a science, there's reflection of science in Ifa. Ifa is not alchemism, but there's alchemism in Ifa. So the natural definition we can actually give to Ifa is nature. Ifa is something we continue to draw, that we cannot see the end. That is Ifa. And as long as nature is inexhaustible, Ifa is inexhaustible. This is why you cannot see anybody, even a Babalawo in Nigeria or in diaspora, that will tell you they know Ifa in entirety. No. It is where you learn, Rich. That is where your knowledge is going to stop. One Odufa says, Ibi abakofa mala ajerumo. Yeah, Ifa says it is where you learn Ifa rate. It is the length of your Ifa that is going to determine at what extent you are going to benefit from Ifa. So Ifa is encompassing. No one can define, no one can pinpoint exactly what Ifa is. But the closest definition we can give to Ifa is nature. Ifa is the natural phenomenon that defines everything you are seeing in the world. Ifa has spoken something about everything you are seeing in the world. And you can see Ifa in every structure. In the North Africa, among the Arabic, they know Ifa as geomancy. Among maybe the Chinese, they know Ifa to be yin and yang or something. So even in Africa, Ifa is known all across Africa under different names, under different culture, under different perspective. But mind you, all is Ifa. But none of those people that practice Ifa in every culture have full understanding of Ifa as much as the Yoruba people. Thank you.
Ashe. So, is there a difference with Ifa in versus other religions? So, does it differ?
The only difference is modality of practice. Here in Yoruba land, if you look at the divination tools of Ifa, it's not the same as the divination tools they use in other places. Here in Yoruba land, sometimes now we use Yerusun to mark Ifa. In the Arabic world, they practice it as geomancy. They use sand. And do you know Babalawo? They will tell you when they want to mark on the Yerusun during divination, they will tell you Ile lakote kato tokman. That means it is earth we first marked before we mark Okpon. And in the past, there has been several modes of divination among the Yoruba. So sometimes ago, when I said there was a time that Yoruba mark on the leaf, so people come up and say, no, he's saying nonsense. Part of the homage we pay as an awo in Yoruba land is Iba Akoda to that year. Sorry, homage to Akoda would define on the leaf. And the
Mm.
divination on the leaf is called what? That is tasseography. That
Say
can
that
be
again,
found.
Baba. So
That
the
is
people.
tasseography.
Ashe.
Tasseography. You can write that down. The divination with leaf is
Mm-hmm.
called tasseography. They said ìbà akọ́dá tó dá tiẹ̀ lórí ewé ìbà ṣẹ̀dá tó dá tiẹ̀ nílẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀. Then aṣẹ̀dá mark their home on the sand. And the divination on the sand is called what? That is called geomancy. Wọ́n á ní ìbà lọ́wọ́ àtìkọ́kọ́ tó dá tiẹ̀ lórí òfurufú jágàdo. Àtìkọ́kọ́ àtìdá. They mark their own on the firmament. That is Ofurufu among the Yoruba. So right now, before we even arrive at marking on the Yerusu, the ancient Yoruba diviners has been marking on certain things before now. That is
Mm.
why they consider it to be important to pay homage to those ancient who mark on different, who practice different mode of divination before we practice what we are practicing today. And the fire is not going to remain as it is right now forever. It's still going to change. The constant thing in the world is change.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've done justice to what is Ifa, the question you asked here.
Now, Baba,
Okay.
ancestors.
Hmm.
Do our ancestors
Okay.
play a role with Ifa or just ourselves? How is that reverence of ancestors in the Ifa tradition?
Let me rephrase your question. You
Okay.
are asking about the role of ancestral veneration
Yes.
in Ifa Orisha tradition. Actually, I'm not in the course of this discussion. I'm going to tone down a bit the way of our expression. We are going to express the how deep we can go in the course of discussion so that all type of rat will not be too much in the market. That is an idiomatic expression that we do not want people to come and plagiarize because there are a lot of those people around today. They don't want to put in the work. All they want to do is to come and pick people's brain
Mm-hmm.
and go out there and say they are writing nonsense about other people's knowledge. Ancestral veneration in Yoruba land is called Egungun worship. And ancestral worship or ancestral veneration is the foundation on which Ifa Orisha is based. Orunmila is ancestor of certain people. We are living together here on earth. Ogun is ancestor of certain people. That is the people of Iri. Songo people, they are in Oyo. They are the direct descendant of those Irumole. The Obatala, they are in Ile-Ife. So everything we know as Orisha, Ifa Orisha system, it is ancestral worship based. Then there are people that they base their own system of veneration and worship on this ancestral worship. They are the Egungun worshippers. They are the Elegungun. And it is through this ancestral worship that we could be able to pinpoint the ancestral magic of each community. The ancestral magic of this present town I'm sitting down, which is Spartanburg in South Carolina, is not the same as the next town around here. They have distinct ancestral magic. This is why in Yoruba land, you are going to see different two nearby towns. They are going to have different Odufa that give birth to them. That is because the kind of Ashe which Olodumare used to create those particular communities, the ancestral magic that inhabited that particular location, is never going to be the same.
Mm.
Let us take, for example, the ancestral magic of the town of Oshogbo. The ancestral worship they practice in the city of Oshogbo is Osun Oshogbo. That is the ancestral Orisa of that town. It is in the worship of that Orisa that the ancestral worship exists. I think I'm communicating here.
That's right, Baba. So,
Ancestral worship is the beginning and the end in Orisa tradition and culture.
Ashe.
So,
Okay.
understanding ancestral worship is understanding the kind of essence that define the Fa Orisha.
Ashe. So, Baba.
There is no way we are going to fully comprehend ancestral worship without comprehending the type of the ancestor in each town. We have to the first type of ancestor that inhabited a particular town or community. They are the one that is going to determine the spiritual undertone of Ifa Orisha in that community. But it is hard today because when people come to Nigeria to
Mm-hmm.
receive probably their initiation into Ifa or initiation into Orisha, they are going to mirror their spiritual practices after the town or after that particular Oluwo that initiated them into Ifa, instead for them to return back to their town, to their community, to try and understand the ancestral magic that is natural to their essence in that town or that is necessary to the people that lives in that community. It is very important.
Hmm.
So don't
Ashe.
let's go too much. I think with this little explanations, people can grab what we are talking about.
Ashe, Baba. So, just on that, so since a lot of us here in this diaspora may not be connected back to our roots in Africa, and we only know the ancestors here, how important is that to worship our ancestors that we know here?
Thank you. I think what is needed to be done is to pay much attention to the ancestral worship in diaspora more than they do to any other thing. Are you getting it?
Yes, Baba.
Of course, there are important and great ancestors of diaspora. If you're talking about the ancestor of each town, if I ask you now, you are going to start mentioning your ancestors, those you can trace as far back as 5, 6 generations ago.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, in Odu, Idu, Odu, Fawuri, Ayoka, if I say someone else, Egungun, will not come to someone else child rescue. That's the truth. No matter the kind of relationship you have exhibited between you and your Oluwo, the egungun of your Oluwo cannot come to your rescue. It is your own egungun, it is your own ancestor that will come to your rescue.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are getting what I'm saying.
Ashe.
So it is important that in every state in diaspora where we have Onishashi, they should endeavor to know the kind of ancestral magic that inhabited their town, the kind of ancestral magic that their spiritual essence will connect with better. They should exhibit it and start acknowledging it. By so doing, there will be local development. Ancestral worship is local, it is not international. I
Mm-hmm.
think you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Ancestral magic is local, it is not continental. When someone dies, the soul will go to the realm of the spirit. That is the realm which they have accustomed them to, but the body stays behind to enrich the people on earth. The
Mm.
consciousness leave the body, but the magic will populate, will continue, will add to the existing magic of the earth.
Ashe.
Have I done enough justice to the question?
Yes,
The
Baba.
duty and the function of ancestral veneration to Ifa and Orisa.
Yes, Baba.
There is a particular practice my teacher would do. He taught us that every city or every town you reach, there are certain things you must get in that town before you make your first divination. The moment you get that, it is on that thing we are going to place your Ifa or any Orisha you take into that town. The moment you do that, you have established the connection between the Ifa you take into that town or between the Orisha you carry into that town and the ancestral magic of that town. Therefore, there is nothing you lose in that particular location that will not lose. There is nothing you bind in that particular location that will not bind. That is because making use of ancestral magic is not a necessity. It is a compulsion for whoever wants to practice Ifa Orisha. You
Mm.
cannot bring the ancestral magic of probably Ibadan in Nigeria and bring it down to the diaspora here to come and settle the proper. Of course, they are alien to the powers here. You need the local authority to establish your authority on foreign soil. You need to make use of that particular ancestral power to be able to decode the ancestral benefit of that particular location.
Ashe, Baba.
So Ifa coming into a different location, of course, also practice it. What I told you we learned from my what I told you I learned from my teacher. It has been a generational thing. So definitely he also gotten it down the generation. It's an ancient practice for those people that practice mystery across the world. And that is Orunmila. It is Orunmila that practice his mystery to Igberi Okun, that is above Okun. He went to Igberi Osa. There is no anywhere in the world that Orunmila did not reach. I'm talking about the ancient towns now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You
Ashe,
can
Baba.
ask any other question on that if you have.
So, Baba, so to make sure that it's understood, or at least I understand you and maybe everybody else out there, is that
Okay.
it's important for us to give reverence to our ancestors here in the diaspora,
In
first
the
and
diaspora.
foremost.
Yes.
Then, if we find out whether it's through DNA, ancestry.com, if we find out we have a lineage somewhere else, like I know that I have a lineage, I come from somewhere, Ijebu, my family.
Okay.
So it's important for me to recognize the ancestors here before I can pay
Recognize the
homage.
ancestors in Nijebu. Yes.
Ashe, Ashe, Baba.
That is because when you are invoking the Gungun,
Mm-hmm.
if you enter into the group or the Igbale Egungun, when you are invoking the Gungun, it is your direct ancestors you are going to invoke first.
Ashe.
Because it is your direct ancestors that will listen to your prayer. If there is a reason for them to carry supporters along, they are the ones that will be responsible for or seeking the support of other people ancestors. I think you understand me.
I do.
If I says the way we do on earth is how it is done in heaven.
Ashe.
Let's go to another question. Don't let's move too much on that.
Okay. So, Baba, how do Ori, Orisha, and Iami play a role in Ifa?
Hmm. Ori, Orisha, and the Yami. You have spoken about it all.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing, the closest Orisha to mankind, to the closest Orisha to human is Ori.
Mm.
If Orisha is going to help anyone, it is the Ori that will pave way for the help of such Orisha.
Mm-hmm.
Ori is so important that even all Orisha, Iyami children too, they are all operating under the provision of Ori, which is destiny. There is an old Rufa that speaks about Olodumare waking up one day, and Olodumare bring out the kola nut of Ori. He called all the divinities, all the 601 divinities to come together. They should come and break the kola nut of Ori. Whoever break the kola nut is going to be the head among all the divinities. All of the divinities came together. They could not break the kola nut. It was at the end Ori came. Ori took the kola nut, Ori break the kola nut of Ori. Olodumare says, Ori, since you are the one that could break the kola nut of Ori, you are going to be the leader of all the divinities. All the divinities now came together. They want to fight Ori. Ori told them, you cannot fight me because I've been given the leadership position by Olodumare.
Mm-hmm.
Shango did not listen. Shango went to collide with Ori. When Ori picked Shango, Ori threw Shango to Koso. That is the home of Shango till today. It was Ogun's turn. Ogun, who believe is a formidable warrior, collided with Ori. When Ori picked Ogun, he threw Ogun at Ire. That is why Ire is the home of Ogun till today. When Orisha Oko hit Ori, he came in collision with Ori that I'm going to destroy Ori today. When Ori picked Orisha Oko, he threw Orisha Oko to Irawo. Irawo is the home of Orisha Oko today. That was how Ori created all of those divinities in their particular location. All right. There is also a particular Odu in Odu Mimo Sameji. Ifá says, ọ̀sán pọ́n elékuru ń hu bí ajá oníṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ẹ̀gà òtògbó ló ń ká jẹ́. Adáfún ìyá ayé ẹ̀kún ọmọ ní sun ẹbọ ni wọ́n pé ó ṣe. Ìgbà tí kọ́kọ́ bí ó bí Ifáradó, ìyá ayé bó ṣàwòsáré láwẹ̀. Ó bá wọn ìyá mi ẹlẹ́yẹ àwọn ìyá mi ẹlẹ́yẹ gorí igi ìrókò Ọlágúnrégé lọ. You see, Ifá says ìyá ayé gave birth to 3 children. Iyaye gave birth to Ifa. Ifa migrated to Ado. Iyaye gave birth to Orisha. Orisha migrated to the city of Ilawe. Iyaye gave birth to our children we call Eleye. They migrated to the top of Iroko tree, which is called Iroko Olagunrigi. You see, even their mother called Iyaye, she was operating under the provision of destiny. It was a destiny that she's going to give birth to the set of powerful 3 children. That is the position of Ori. So when we wake up in the morning, it is Ori that is the number one Orisha that we should greet.
That's right.
That is how important Ori is in Ifa Orisha religion. After Ori, Ifa says we should go and greet Ajay in the morning before we even greet Barakpetu. Ifa says we should greet Ajay before we greet Ifa. Therefore, it is Ajay that follows. Whoever has the presence of a Yami in their temple, whoever has the presence of a Yami, wherever their temple is, Yami comes last. She's the Egun Lati Kenyi Igbale. She's the last masquerade that comes out last. She's the one you must greet at the end of all you have greeted Lord the Orisha. Let's move past that. Another question here.
Okay, Baba.
Am I talking too much?
No, you are not. You are not.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sure we all, anyone, besides myself and anyone who is watching, we appreciate the information. The knowledge
Thank
is
you.
power, Baba. I appreciate you having this conversation with me.
Thank you, yeah. You're welcome.
So, are the modalities the same when communicating with Ifa and Orisha?
Okay.
And how does one communicate with Ifa and Orisha?
I think your questions are in two forms. You are asking about the modernity of communication between Ifa and Orisha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Communication is different from consultation.
Okay.
Communication only occurs maybe you are performing particular ritual in the presence of Ifa or in the presence of Orisa. And the only divination tools you can use in that regard is OB, which is kola nut divination. It is OB you are going to use to communicate with Orisa if they have accepted your offering. It is OB you are going to use to communicate with your Ifa if your Ifa has accepted what you have offered.
Mm-hmm.
It is OB you are going to use to establish either your Orisha or your Ifa has any message for you.
Okay.
But beyond that communication, OB cannot be used in consultation. Orisha has their own system of consultation. Ifa has its own modality of modalities of consultation. When you are consulting Ifa, there are certain divination instruments you need
Mm-hmm.
to possess before you start the consultation of Ifa, before whatever it is you are doing will be regarded as Ifa consultation. The number one Ifa divination or Ifa consultation material you need is Ikinfa. After you have gotten your Ikinfa, another divination tool that could be used would be Okpele. To use the Ikinfa, you need Oponfa. To use Ikinfa, you need the Yerusu.
Mm.
To use Ikinfa, you need Igbo. Actually, Igbo is useful in Ikinfa divination and Okpele divination. That is Ifa. But in Orisha system of divination, there is something we call Erindelogun. That is the 16 cowries of divination. So there are certain Orisha that possess the authority to use the 16 cowries for divination. Or should devotees they use 16 cowries?
Mm-hmm.
The Shango worshippers they use cowries. The Obatala worshippers they use cowries for their divination. Sometimes you can see the 16 cowries of divination among the Yoni Yemoja. The 16 cowries these days has been so abused that even among those Sawo Seshegun, those that are not traditionalists but they are also receiving clients in their respective home to work for them. Some of them these days also use Erin Delugu. So that is just the establishment of modalities between Ifa and Orisha communication. When
Mm.
you are communicating with Orisha, that could only be done during ritual, during appeasement,
Mm-hmm.
during veneration of Ifa and Orisha. That is what you use Obi for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Ashe. Um, so Baba, let's get to some of the common misbeliefs
Hmm.
surrounding Ifa. What are some of the common misbeliefs that you know of?
Number one common misbelief happened to me personally. The misbelief is after I initiated someone to Ifa, he went home and gave someone his gun and said the person should shoot her, that the gun will not penetrate her body. That because she's initiated into Ifa, that the gun will not penetrate her. Isn't that a misbelief?
I believe so.
Thank you. Another misbelief I would like to correct about Ifa is that the moment you are initiated into Ifa would automatically make you a millionaire. That is a misbelief. Yeah, you are smiling.
Oh, I had
It
a
is
thought
so
in my
bad to
mind,
the it
Baba.
is so bad to the point that when you initiated people, into Ifa or Orisha, they believe 3 months later they should be counting millions. They believe Ifa practice is not a magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of a spiritual system that has a code. And the code is to be calm once you are initiated into Ifa. Truly, you have re-established your link with the spiritual world. What that is going to do for you is those positive energies, those positive occurrences that are part of your head, that are part of your destiny, they are going to manifest. But provided you do not choose to be stickingly rich on earth, but you decided because you have initiated into Ifa, you are going to be stickingly rich. No, that is not it. It is those exact things that you have as part of your destiny that is going to manifest. And the time will not change. Some in the home of Ajalamokpe, that is the one that mowed human head. Some chose to be rich in the morning. Some chose to be rich in the afternoon. Some chose to be rich in the night. Because you are initiated into Ifa, what your destiny has dictated for you before you come to earth cannot change. Neither can it be stopped either. No negativities can stop the manifestation of your destiny. That is why we initiate into Ifa. So believing that immediately you are done initiating to Ifa, you should become a millionaire, that's a misbelief.
So, Bob,
another misbelief is the fact that people believe Ifa and Orisa religion is demonic practices. Some believe ancestral worship is demonic in nature. Some believe worshiping Orisa, you are a demonic person. You need deliverance. That is a misbelief. Jesus is to the Christian what Orunmila is to the Babalawo. Jesus is to the Christians what the Ogun is to the Ologun. Muhammad is to the Muslim what Shango is to the Onishango. Nothing is demonic about Ifa Orisha religion. It is an holistic system of spiritual practice. Have I done justice to popular misbelief?
Ashe, Baba. And I do have a few questions, a few items rather, that I would like for you to clarify for everyone that may be watching. Okay, and you did touch on Ifa not being witchcraft, because this is something that I hear, and I'm sure a lot of other people hear often, especially from people who may have come from Christian backgrounds and have now decided to get closer to their roots with Ifa. So I know some people may hear that a lot, but there's a phrase often that is heard that Eshu is the devil. Can you clear that up for us, Baba?
Eshu is not a devil. Neither is Eshu Satan. The greatest mistake, the greatest misconception originated when Ajayi Crowther translated English Bible to Yoruba fashion. So he met Satan in the Christian Bible in English, but he was looking for that same connotation among the Yoruba, that same name, the name he could translate it to be Satan among the Yoruba. He did not see. That was when he made that great error by translating Satan to be Eshu. They are totally different.
Okay.
Eshu is a Yoruba divinity. Eshu is a Yoruba messenger of Olodumare Onile Orita. Is there any description of Satan in the Bible that says Eshu used to stay at Orita? No.
You're correct.
No. It is great misconception when Ajayi Crowther want to translate Jesus. He translated Jesus to mean Jesu in Yoruba Bible. He translated David to mean David in Yoruba Bible. It translated Isaiah to be is Isaiah in Yoruba Bible.
Mm-hmm.
How come does it now translated Satan to be Eshu? It is Satanic. You're supposed to call it. But I charge you, but go and look at all the Yoruba Bibles we have today. Eshu is not mentioned in those Bibles. Eshu is never mentioned in those Bibles. It was a misinterpretation and misinformation for people to translate Eshu to be Satan.
Okay. So Baba, I know in a I'm sorry, are you finished?
I'm listening. It's
Okay.
okay.
In a previous conversation that we had, I think it was a little bit earlier today, where you mentioned Iami being the feminine forces of Oludumare.
Yes.
And people always equate Iami to witches. So Baba, will you touch on that? Because that was quite interesting. And explain
You see,
their function, what they're here to do.
people don't really understand the term Iyami. If you bring 100 people together in the Jeshi community today and ask them who are Iyami, they will say Iyami are Iyami dudu, Iyami pupa, Iyami funfun. That is erroneous. That is part of the misinformation we are talking about. That notion, that idea was picked from Yoruba home videos.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing like Iyami dudu, Iyami pupa, Iyami funfun. The original term of Iyami, the real Iyami, the primordial Iyami, is the feminine force in creation, just as we have duality on earth.
Mm-hmm.
We have the duality of male, we have the duality of female. There was duality in creation, according to Brifa Ejiobi. There was Olodumare, the supreme being, and there is feminine force, the feminine aspect of Olodumare. That feminine aspect is the Iyami, is the mother. And it is to this feminine force that so many of those who shall return to. Of course, if you look at Odu, Ifa, or Sameji, if you look at the Odufa or Sheyeku, if I speak about Odu returning back to Olodumare to receive power, it was not Olodumare the male Odu returned to, it was to her mother she returned.
Hmm.
It is funny how people will believe when Olodumare created male Irumole, he just thought out of his idea that, and he just think, okay, let me create something that will be different from them. Let me create female. No, there was already female presiding over the process of creation. That was what led to the creation of the lower exact feminine type. All right. And this feminine and ancient feminine force that also dwell with Olodumare is called Aje. Epa ya mi o. Taba peri akọni àfidà lálẹ́ gàràgà. That is a name. But the name of Iyami, a name is too magnificent and too powerful to call ordinarily. This is why we used to abbreviate the term of Iyami Aje to Iyami. That is why the name of our temple is called Iyami Aje International Temple. The name is so magnificent and so powerful. When they were describing in the Bible that there is a name we have given unto you on earth and in heaven, and in the name of that name, all knees shall bow. It is the name called Aje. Whoever is in pain, whoever is in the problem, that call the name of Iyami, Iyami will deliver them. Either you know her, either you don't know her, but the fact that you invoke that name, Iyami will respond. So when people say, "Oh, I am, I am a yam," just look at them once again and say, "Do you know what is called a yam?" And between Olodumare and the yam is more closer to us than the supreme being. Iyami is more encompassing. She's more pity. She has more pity. She's more divinely connected to her children.
Ashe.
But under the Iyami, there is layer in a court.
Mm-hmm.
There is layers in the court of Iyami. So the time Iyami, àwọn Iyami, Ẹlẹ́yẹ, they all have layers in understanding them. But I'm sure this particular live video, this particular class is not to talk about Yami, because there are certain aspects of a Yami lesson that cannot be part of esoteric knowledge.
Ashe.
Because there are certain names you just can't continue to mention them.
Ashe.
So do you still have any question on that?
No, Baba. You're fine. Now, Baba, since we were just clearing up some misinformation about Iyami, can you clear the information regarding to self-initiation into Iyami?
Come again with that.
Self-initiation into Iyami. There are people walking around saying they self-initiated into Iyami.
There is no self-initiation into Yami. In fact, there is no initiation at all. The process of induction into the realm of Yami is not called initiation. It's not. Because nobody, no absolutely body can initiate into Yami. There is a level, there is a layer, there's a segment of our cult, of our society that people can get inducted to. And the initiation is not done like the initiation into Orisa or initiation into Ifa that you do in 3 days, in some places 7 days. No. That is the rite of passage into the society of Iyami is not done like that. And it's even rare. So the people that claim, oh, they self-initiated into Iyami, what they are doing is imule, ebe, eyonu, that is it, imule àwọn àgbà. So they believe when they carry some bed, they burn the bed or they mix the bed with soap, so they will be bathing with the soap. They believe they are initiated into Iyami. No! Those are temporary technology of Iyami society. They give it to people to do, so people can have certain spiritual connection with the realm of Iyami. So when Iyami children, when any of the Iyami children see the people using that type of technology, they will know, oh, is our son. Oh, is our daughter. But guess what? All those materials, they have expiry date. That is how you are going to know it is not initiation into Iyami. Rather, it is a kind of technology to seek the support of Iyami children.
It expires like medicines do.
It expires like it's not like medicine. It is the medicine of the Africans in Ishashi. There are so many of them. So many of them. There are some, when they see that someone has offended one of the elders, one Iyami child, if they do it for the person, such an Iyami child will just look at the person and forgive them.
Okay.
So that will make them think, oh, because I'm being forgiven now, I am now. You are not. You are not. They are not. Do you still have any question on that? Were we able to clarify your question?
Yes, you clarified it well, Baba. So there was a topic on social media recently regarding cowrie shells not being an original form of divination, and also within that, that you can only use opwele for Orisha and Ifa initiations. Can you clarify that for us, Baba?
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the people saying that.
No, no, Baba. I wouldn't want you to do that.
But all these divisive idea and thought, they are new ages spiritualist ideas.
Mm-hmm.
They are new age Onifa Onisese thought. In Yoruba land, ìpọ̀nrí awo ọ̀kan ni. That means the bosom of all awo is one. I think you are getting me.
Mm-hmm.
All awo, we are one in purpose. I'm talking about original awo. Look at the people that says it is only Okpele you can use in Orisha initiation. That is wrong. There is there is absolutely nothing connecting Orisha initiation and Okpele together.
Okay.
Even in Ifa initiation, you cannot use Okpele in Nigbodu. It is Ikinfa you can use to consult the Odu that gave birth to Iyawufa in Nigbodu. And it is Ikinfa that was just consecrated in Nigbodu that could be used for the consecration. Speaking of Orisha initiation or Idosu Orisha, it is 16 cowries they are going to use in Orisha divination during Orisha Idosu. Idosu Orisha rather. Orisha like Osun, Yemoja, Ọbàtálá, Òòṣà Olúfọ́n, Ṣàngó, Ògún, all of those divinations, they are done with 16 cowries. Even some people will tell you they don't even need 16 cowries to make their divination. They will use Obi to ask whatever they want to ask during their initiation. That is common to the Ologun, to the Ogun worshippers. When you initiate people into Ogun, it is Obi. They could use Obi throughout. Because there are people that can combine 6 Obi together to make divination.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that can combine 8 Obi together to make divination. There is 16 high Obi. The Obi that has 16 highs. There are people that use that during the course of their divination. So did I hear you well that you said, they said Ene Delogun is older than Ifa, or what is it? Is that part of the question too?
Yes, Baba. So basically, the information that was put out was that cowrie shells are not an original form of divination.
You see, as I said earlier, those are new school of thought ideas. They are not original. In a particular Odufa, Ifá says Ọ̀bábámbá ọ̀mọ́mọ́mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan kàṣàìmáyọ̀. Adá fún ọmọ tinúwẹ̀ tí sobìnrin Àjàgùnmàlè ní wàrún. Kó lè bímọ ní dáfá sí ẹbọ ni wọ́n pé ó ṣe ọmọ tinúwẹ̀ ló bí alápàǹsíkí ọmọ tó gbọ́fá láti inú ìyá ẹ̀ wá. Alápàǹsíkí ló tẹ apẹ ọmọ òjòlú nífá ó tẹ alùkò ọmọ òjò sùn. Ó tó dídẹrẹ́ olúwo ọmọ odò ọba ọmọ àtọ̀ di ọ̀run gbégbá ẹdẹ kárí wáyé. Ó kú dẹ̀dẹ̀ káwòdì ó wọ̀ṣà. Àwòdì ọmọ wọ̀ṣà tẹ́lẹ́gán tó lòdù. Gbogbo wa ńlá jọ ń ṣàwó. You see, Ifa is actually speaking about Omotinuwe, the wife of Ajagumali, who was trying to have a child. And she was asked to offer her, and Omotinuwe complied. And when Omotinuwe will give birth to a child, the name of a child was Alakpansiki. Nobody teaches Alakpansiki Ifa. Alakpansiki know Ifa from the womb of his mother.
Hmm.
So it was the Alakpansiki that consecrated Agbe into Ifa, is the name of a bird. It was Alakpansiki that consecrated Aluko into Ifa. It was Alakpansiki that consecrated Odidere into Ifa. Daudu now went forward and says, Èrò pó èrò ọ̀fà tẹlẹ́gàn tó lòdù gbogbo wa lájọ ń ṣawo. Ifa says both the ẹlẹ́gàn and Olodu, all of us are Hawu.
Mm-hmm.
That Odu Ifa speak about the two type of Ifa initiation. It speaks about Itelodu and Itenifa. Another name for Itenifa is Ifa Egan. Ifa Egan is the type of Ifa initiation that women undergo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you remember the kind of Ifa you underwent, there is no Odu in Igbo Ifa when you initiated. That is called Ifa Egan or Itenifa. That is not Itelodu. Itelodu is reserved for Babalawo. So Ifa now tell us that both all the people that initiated into Itelodu and the people that initiated into Ifa Egan, all of us we are Awu.
Mm-hmm.
This is the esoteric interpretation of this. It means both the people, I'm talking about the context of the usage that we are applying here. It means both the people that are using the 16 calories to divine and the people using Ikin system of divination and the people using Agbigba and the people using Okpele, all of us, we are one.
Ashe.
If you have ever approached the people that use 16 calories before, I'm talking about the people that learn it. I'm talking about either you learn or inherit the knowledge of 16 calories. Whatever it is they find out at the home of Elerin Dilogun is the same thing if you use Okpele, you are going to find out. It's the same thing if you use Ikin to make your consultation. It's the same thing you are going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
That is to say, none of those things are to be castigated for one. They are all powerful system and accurate method of divination. It depends on the people that are using them. My father, as an Ogun worshipper, I know some of his friends that uses 16 divinations. In fact, there was one of my uncle that uses 16 calories for divination. Oh, it's one of the most accurate divine I've ever come across.
Ashe.
And I also know Babalawos that when they divine with Ikin or when they cast their Okpele, they speak like talkative. All of those things, they have their uses. But another thing we have to pay attention to in the Isheshe community is if either you are a Babalawo, either you are Olorisha, either you are Onishegun, everybody should know their area of specialization.
Ashe.
There is area of expertise in Isheshe. These are just the facts that people will not see. Even among the Babalawo, people have their area of specialization. There are some Babalawo, they are Eleyo. This means these are the Babalawo that only chant. They can chant from now to tomorrow when they cast Ifa, when they see Ifa on ground. This Babalawo, they might not be too deep in Iteshe. These Iteshe they are type of works that contain Ifa esoteric knowledge, Ifa works, Akoshi Ifa, those are the Iteshe, Ifa Eku, Ifa Ola, those are what we refer to as Iteshe. So there are Babalawo that specialize in that. There are Babalawo that their own area of specialization is Asan and Ekpe. That is incantation, calls, Abilu, to send attack. That is on Babalawo's areas of specialization. Some of Onisheshe, the area of specialization is in Orisa. But everything is so upside down now that you are going to see someone, they will call themselves, you are the Babalawo, you are the Onishango, you are the Elegun, you are the Olosan, you are the Olosan, only one person. That is the problem. People do not want to recognize people's area of expertise any longer. So
Mhm.
saying
Ashe.
16 calories is not an ancient type of practice is an error. It is ancient to the people using it. It is ancient to the devotees of those Orisha using it. If you get to Oyuala in the presence of Onidasa, the 16 calories is called Idasa in Oyo. In the same way, the process of Idafa, they call
Mhm.
it Idaorisha in Oyo. If you go to them, they will use their 16 calories to make divination. They will use the 16 calories to make ebo. It's right there in Oyo. That is that about that, yeah.
Ashe Baba, thank you. So, as far this is a lot of people feel, but some of the people that I hear say this are not devotees. They're not Orisha priests. They're not
Okay,
Yanifas. They're not Awos.
okay,
But a lot of them will say that people of color, meaning Black people, people from the motherland, or people with our skin color, or that ethnicity of, should be the only ones who practice an African spirituality.
so if I get your question right, what you are asking is it true that only the people of color, the people of color, by that you mean the black,
Mm-hmm.
should be the only one practicing the spiritual tradition?
Yes.
I will tell you no. You want the truth?
Give it to us, Baba. We're gonna talk. We talking about it.
I will tell you no.
Okay.
Absolutely no. If you look at Oduifa Otuamele, Otuamele made us to realize that these people we call the white, they were actually born from the belly of Olokun. At if after Ife Odaye, there has been several Ife. Ife is the cradle of humanity. That has been scientifically proven. There was a paper that was published here in the West not long ago. This paper revealed that the Yoruba people of West Africa, they have the oldest DNA in the world. That Ife Odaye was where water was where Olokun gets angry and decided to eradicate the whole world.
Mm.
So the set of people that later emerged from the anger of Olokun in other aspect, in other area of the world, Ifa says they are the one that became the white. According to that Odu, it was Olokun that removed the melanin pigments from the body of those beings. So because of this, are we going to say they do not have right to their heritage too? No. Inodu fa ogbeyonu. Ifá ṣe iṣẹ́ oríran mi ni mò ń jẹ́ ọlọ́nà òòṣà òkè làkálẹ̀ ni mò ń tọ̀. Mo tọ̀nà títí mo délùú Ṣorogíṣo. Níbi mo gbérí asínwín tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ pá lójú, mo ríràrá tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹbọ wòrìṣà ara mi, ẹni bá nàyẹ̀ kú o, àríjà ògbè. Ẹbọ wòrìṣà ara mi. Aṣabi, Aṣabi, sorry, yeah. Can you bring me my call, please? This phone is about to shut down. Wow. The phone.
Are you there, Baba?